This is the channel that keeps on trucking. YouTube keeps trying to stifle its growth, but they cannot stifle its influence. In my last clip, I roasted a so-called liberal streamer by the name of Hutch, who refused to endorse Graham Plattner. Of course, Graham Plattner's not with us anymore, but we won't go into that. But I roasted the shit out of this guy for refusing to endorse Graham Plattner. I sent the video to him, and I know he saw it because he blocked me shortly after. And then shortly after that, he not only endorsed Plattner, he actually gave the guy money. But we'll get back to Hutch later. Now, I myself did not give Plattner money. I don't give money to anyone because I feel it's a conflict of interest. It's why I don't tip. However, I would be willing to give up 20% to anyone who could tell me any real difference between a Democratic Socialist and an FDR Democrat. Here's former Clinton advisor and noted Dixiecrat, James Carville.
But I wouldn't see her. This is not who we are. We should just say, look, you're duly elected. Have your seat in Congress, but you're not getting any committee assignments when the Democrats get the majority. And by the way, as Jamie Harrison, the former Democratic chair, said, all of these people hate Democrats. Why do you want to run as a Democrat? Start your own movement. If it's such a powerful, sweeping movement that's got momentum everywhere, then go ahead and be at the head of it. Don't use the Democratic Party to advance it.
Yeah.
Because we don't have any interest in it.
Yeah, we don't hate Democrats, dude. I've been voting Democrat for 20 years. We hate you, you corn-pwned termite. We hate right-wing corporate hatchet men who have infiltrated the Democratic Party and convinced candidates that transgender swimmers and Sister Soldier are a bigger threat to the U.S. than the Republican Party. You know, I've always wanted to ask Carville, if Sister Soldier was such a threat to the United States, then why do I have to explain to anyone under 40 who Sister Soldier is? There's a reason why Clinton and Carville called themselves the New Democrats. It's because the Democratic Party was never their party. It was an economic populist party for 100 years before Bill Clinton took office. So here's a polite reminder for you conservative Democrats. FDR is the guy on the dime. Bill Clinton is the guy in the Epstein files. Here's a few things that FDR believed should be constitutional rights. The right to a living wage, the right to health care, the right to housing, the right to education, the right to be free of monopolies. That's the guy that saved America from the Great Depression. Crime Bill Clinton, the deregulator-in-chief, helped cause our second Great Depression. These guys call themselves the Third Way, or the New Democrats, because that trickle-down bullshit was never what the Democratic Party was really about. It's not your party, James. It's not your party, Jamie Harrison. It's not your party, Josh Guthelhammer. It's not your party, Hutch.
Yeah. I too. I will not be voting for El Sayed if he's in the general.
No way.
Oh, that's
sorry,
true.
Guys. Yeah,
That's true. I didn't even think about that. It's true.
Yeah.
I too. I will not be voting for El Sayed if he's in the general election. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it.
Good. Yeah.
That was Hutch. And Hutch always has a look on his face like he's wearing a butt plug that's holding his diarrhea in. And the moment he opens his mouth, that look disappears because the diarrhea starts shooting out of his mouth. When we last left Hutch, he had donated money to Graham Plattner's campaign after this channel egged him on. This is Hutch after a credible accusation of sexual assault was made against Plattner. He's responding to Emma Vigeland, who, after having seen the evidence, pulled her support.
I didn't even see what post you're talking about.
There's nothing new coming out, and it looks like an awful, awful accusation, and a credible one has come out. Now, this movement has never been about...
It's so gross. This one is actually credible. This story is actually credible. The other one, not credible. Because the woman was a Republican. Just like any kind of like progressive bona fides that you claim to have had, you just tossed all of that away. The second you...
If Emma Vigeland has lost her progressive bona fides, feel free to call into her show and challenge anyone on that channel. Hutch, please do it. Please. Please do it. You'll never do it. Not in a million years. Republicans lie about everything from climate change to whether or not they have to go to the bathroom before you get in the car to drive them to their eye appointment. The person he's referring to, the Republican, was not just a Republican, it was a Republican operative, someone who was paid to lie professionally. Here's a few quotes from this Republican operative who accused, who, by the way, did not accuse Plattner of sexual assault. He accused him of abuse. In the wake of the baseless 11th hour accusation orchestrated to stop Kavanaugh's confirmation, we couldn't stay silent anymore, she told the New York Post in 2018. The orchestrated smearing of a good man to make the public believe he's a sexual predator when he isn't is, yes, a monstrous evil, is something she posted on Twitter. She is affiliated with Independent Women, a conservative women's group. She also worked for the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank, and Nikki Haley's 2024 Republican presidential campaign. Brett Kavanaugh was credibly accused of sexual assault, and this person helped Susan Collins, Plattner's opponent, lie to protect Kavanaugh. That's why no one believed her. That plus her lack of evidence or witnesses, or when she accused Plattner of verbal and physical abuse, no one believed her except for Hutch, as he just said in this video, and he still donated money to Plattner. He was the only one to give Plattner money, and he's judging Emma Vigeland for having once supported the guy. The hypocrisy of this dude is laughable. The transparency of his little gang of grifters is laughable. Ha. His little universe revolves around a show called Live and Learn. These guys all purport to be liberal Democrats, but every single video that they do is about the frightening specter of socialism and whether or not democratic socialists and progressives should be allowed into, quote unquote, their party. 3 of these guys, Destiny, Pisco, and Wick, have claimed that George W. Bush won Florida fair and square back in 2000. Now, in 20 years, I've never heard a liberal make that claim, because the NAACP and the ACLU both successfully sued Florida over registered minorities being removed from voting rolls. These guys, these live and learn guys, are out here claiming that they're the true Democrats, and they're defending the voter suppression of Democrats. That does not sound very liberal. That does not sound very democratic. Sorry, boys. It's not your party.